Hi everybody, this is Teri from Technique Tuesday, and I'm here today to show you some fun DIY mini hexagons you can make to use to decorate your scrapbooking pages. While these hexagons have a certain memory keeper flair about them, know that you can also use these to decorate a greeting card or on any old paper crafting project as well. As we get started, you should know that each of the hexagons I'm going to show you today use Technique Tuesday's hexagon dies as well as the Real Story stamp set. Now, I just love this first hexagon. This was such a fun hexagon to make. What I did was I die cut a base using cardstock and the hexagon die, and then I die cut a large half circle using a piece of pattern paper, and I adhered it onto the hexagon. Once I did that, I stamped the phrase, "This is everyday life," right on top of it. Now, if you try this at home, you may notice when you stamp that you may end up with a little white gap between where the pattern paper meets the cardstock. So, for instance, it would be right at the tip of that E, and then right at the tip at the start of the Y. So, that's because it's not complete even surface when you're layering papers together. So my trick for you is to take a black pen and just use that black pen to kind of fill in where that little blank space is, so it looks like you've stamped completely. Now this second hexagon I think is so fun. That's because I created a banner to go across it, and the banner was so easy to make. I die cut 3 half circles, and then I just layered them together. Now, while I use them on this hexagon today, imagine using them or creating something similar to use on a greeting card or on a scrapbooking page. Just imagine 20 half circles lined up next to each other. That would be so fun. And then just to really make it pop, add a little twine or some embellishments on top. Now, here's another hexagon for you. This is the Tomorrow is a New Day hexagon. Now, for this one, rather than using cardstock for my base, I used pattern paper. So I used the hexagon die to die cut the base, and then I cut 2 half circles using the large half circle die, and I layered them together. So if you look at that hexagon, you'll see that there's a little bit of orange popping out under that white half circle. That's the second half circle I die cut. I love how it just really forces you to look at that white half circle. And of course, the sentiment, that too came from the Real Story stamp set. Now, here's another hexagon. Now, what makes this one a little different is, rather than using the half circle with the straight side facing up, I flipped it over so it's facing down. I just love that. And I again stamped a sentiment onto that half circle, and then to really make things pop, I took the arrow, which is also in the Real Story stamp set, and I stamped it with a faint blue ink. Now, I think this hexagon would be so fun to put next to a picture of just a really good memory. So say like a family reunion, somebody graduating, or just a fun night spent with the family that you want to remember. Finally, I've got 2 more hexagons to show you. Now, these hexagons are kind of along the same lines. You'll notice for this one, there is a large half circle, or for both of them, there is a large half circle as well as a small half circle. And then there's also the base. All of these things were cut using the hexagon dies. Now, you'll notice on the top one, I've got the circles facing up, and then you'll notice on the bottom, I've got them going down. And to make that top hexagon a little more unique, I used the same flower that I had stamped on that green hexagon, and I used that to actually stamp right onto that base, that hexagon base. So if I stamped that flower over and over, so if you look at it really close, I think it looks like it's pattern paper, but only you and I know that it's cardstock, and then I just stamp that flower over and over on it. Alright, so that wraps up the ideas I have for you today. If you'd like to see some cool projects that were made with the Hexagon dies, as well as the Real Story stamp set, check out TechniqueTuesday.com. Our creative team has been hard at work making scrapbook pages and cards to share with you. Hope to see you again soon.